Hey everyone, it's Dr. DeCubellis from Main Street Chiropractic, and I am joined with John Risvold, personal injury attorney, and today we are going to talk about timelines and statute of limitations. So John, you want to take it away?
Yeah, sure. So anytime you're injured in the state of Illinois, there is what's called a statute of limitations, which means a time frame in which you have to bring your claim or bring a case into court. And that time frame in Illinois typically is 2 years. Unless you're dealing with a municipality or some form of government, then it's only 1 year. But generally speaking, you have 2 years in order to bring a lawsuit. Now that doesn't necessarily mean you have 2 years to bring a claim, and it doesn't mean that you have 2 years to wait and sit around and hope that everything sort of works out and the insurance company does the right thing. I think it's vitally important that you talk to a lawyer as soon as you can after an accident to protect your rights, but also to make sure that you protect that time frame so that they can investigate. They can get you connected with good doctors if you don't have any, or they can make sure that the insurance company isn't allowed to speak to you anymore, that they can only speak through your attorney. There's a time is of the essence sort of mentality when it comes to personal injury cases, and while that 2 years seems like a long time, it can go by very, very quickly. Also be wary of what the insurance company is telling you. I've had clients receive letters from insurance companies that misstate the statute of limitations, and while I'm sure it's not intentional because these companies are operating in all 50 states, you need to consult with an expert to make sure that your rights are protected and make sure you have the right time frame. I've seen 5 years on letters and 3 years or 1 year, and in Illinois it's generally 2 years, and so you want to make sure you talk to a lawyer and get the process started as quickly as you can. And I think, while there is that 2 year window, that doesn't mean 2 years to wait around before you see a doctor either, right?
No, 100%. And we need to get in to see the doctor right away because we have to be able to make sure that not only do we diagnose and we make sure that we can link the actual injury to the accident and put that together, but the other thing is that when we go through and we have an injury, you go through the healing process, and that healing process has specific time frames and windows. So the inflammation phase is the first phase. It lasts up to 72 hours. Repair phase lasts up to 12 weeks, and then the remodel phase can last up to 2 years after it. But it's really important because we have to know where we are in this time frame, because you could re-aggravate, start back over. We have to look at pre-existing. So all this stuff has to be taken into account to know what not only diagnosis we're looking at, what we're looking at treatment-wise, how long the treatment's going to last, what type of treatment we need to do, what outcome we can expect, and then when we get to a point of permanency. So all that's so important because we have to know that, because we have to give that to the attorney so the attorney knows when they can start not only filing cases but talking about settlements or pursuing a lawsuit. It's so important that everything works together. So even though you might have all this time to file the case, you need to start working with people ASAP to make sure you're not waiting until last minute, because if you wait even a month to go see a doctor, your case is almost completely gone, because trying to explain that kind of a gap in treatment, unless you were in a coma for a month, it makes it really, really impossible. So going to the right people at the right time is of the essence.
Yeah, and a lot of my clients, almost every single one of my clients, ask me, well, how long is this going to take? And it really does vary, and we're talking about time and timing of the essence. Well, how quickly did you go see your doctor? How quickly did you get better? How serious are your injuries? I'm not going to negotiate for you as a lawyer until the doctor has released you and said that you're at maximum medical improvement. Otherwise, you're just going to be on the hook for the bills yourself, and that's not the situation you want to be in. Once you're at maximum medical improvement, and once the doctor has been able to send all of his chart notes and bills and everything to your lawyer, then the process of negotiation really starts, and that sometimes can take up to 2 or 3 months depending on how complex your case is. And so when we're working in this 2 year window, if we don't get your case resolved in that 2 year window, we have to file a lawsuit. If we miss that 2 year window, you can never bring a lawsuit. If it's 2 years and 1 day, your rights are gone. And so it's really important that you understand time is of the essence, communicate with your doctors, communicate with your lawyers, and know that you sort of are on the clock, and it's important to be mindful of the time.
And with that too, when it comes to going and being treated by a doctor, at some point we assume that there probably might have been an ER visit beforehand, might have been a primary care doctor beforehand. So when people come into me, I want to request those records and those notes. Also, if let's say you injured your neck, but we had a previous neck issue 2 or 3 years ago, I have to get the records about that neck issue so I can compare and contrast and see what is different, what isn't, and make sure we can talk about that to, again, give you a case so you know what you're dealing with. And then it's not all on you to try to go back and look at all these medicals, because that's not your expertise to look at that. So we try to make it as easy on the attorney attorney as possible, but coming into my office as quickly and as close to the accident is always the best, because then there's less red tape we have to go through, and it just makes it easier on all parties. Plus, you're going to get the right treatment at the right time, and you're going to have the best outcome measures as well.
Absolutely. And 2 years goes fast.
Yeah.
It goes very fast. I know it seems like a long time, but when you really think about it and you start getting into your treatment, it takes longer for our bodies to get better than we think it does or think it will, because we're just not designed to be in accidents. Our bodies are not made for that. And the insurance company's goal a lot of times is to try to run out the clock like it's, you know, the end of a game and they've got a big lead, right? And you really need to understand that that time moves fast. It really does. And so the sooner you can get better, the better. And the sooner you can get protected, the better.
100% agree. So I hope that helps. If you have any questions, you can reach out to us. If you need to talk with us regarding an injury you're in, please do, because time is of the essence.